Yeah.
Okay.
Tony's leaving tonight, so I think it's a good time to sort of shore up what we think next steps are and like what we're committing to over the next while, while people are traveling and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think that's the idea. We don't have to, we're not getting into too much stuff, but yeah, we'll be mapping territory, I think, a little bit.
Cool.
If that
for
makes
me.
sense. Yeah. I don't know how to,
I can go down the list of things that I plan to work on in some capacity.
Sure.
I don't know if
Sure.
that helps.
yeah.
I need coffee.
Hold on, Dave's getting coffee.
Good start.
Well, ourlog stuff is one, like more the like iOS app type deal.
Oh, yeah.
And everything that comes along with that. I've been thinking. Well, Exquisite Graphics website is also now on my mind. I was doing that yesterday. Mainly to have a place to link out from once we have like the main website stuff. And to make that like somewhat intelligible, so people can understand what's going on there. So I'll probably need help with copy and things like that on the website, and probably design as well.
That's probably, copy design is probably a thing for all of them.
Probably,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we can potentially keep going down your list, but there's maybe a way of not batching things, but like if we know we're gonna
Yeah.
be doing 5 websites or something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind
like
of
how
what
do
I
you
was
turn it
thinking.
into a assembly line?
basically.
So you don't have to think about it as much?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the last one was like the paint a blip stuff, whatever I'm doing, because like at least discussing with Tony the other night and Jess too, is like splitting that like 3 ways, 33% each to the original creator, to me, and then like I have it to Exquisite Graphics, but also most of that can just get funneled into Relational. So I think that also is potentially like maybe some money there that can be found. And doing copy and design on that basically. Some like maybe game, yeah, we'll see. But 33% on that seems like potentially pretty reasonable for an amount of money to come in as well.
Sure.
Depending on how well the project does overall. So
I mean, that one raises an interesting question, because like that could go to Exquisite Graphics, but then
Exquisite Graphics is also
a
part of-
member of Relational,
Yeah,
so
and it's like basically paying
it's
it
good though,
forward,
like it,
back
yeah,
kind of thing.
it's a good thing to work with.
It's like easy to explain, and just mentioned like anytime you like give a grant from Exquisite Graphics, it's just like put it on the website. It's like okay,
What's a
So-
grant?
like some money basically. Like this guy who built the like Ivy Root, who like
Oh,
who
yeah,
wants to have
yeah.
a call.
It's a fractal.
Yeah.
Show the projects that are coming out of the thing.
Yeah,
Yep,
so I'm
Yep.
gonna like his thing is actually pretty great. It's really I won't make too many comments since this is recorded. But it needs some work still, I think, ultimately, but it's in a pretty nice place where like you could probably build something out of it, like for documentation's sake for Exquisite Graphics too. And basically show like, here, make a website, install 2 packages, like boom, website done.
Yeah.
And then like create most simple contract, boom, contract done. Now like you can use Exquisite Graphics. So like there's that capability. So I think I'm probably gonna send him a little bit at some point. For at least doing some work on this, so we'll see. So that's like another grant that's like upcoming, just like kind of funding the like surrounding.
Yep.
Like environment.
Ecosystem,
Yeah,
yeah.
ecosystem.
Yeah, it's sort of feeling into what that feels like, and then what kinds of plumbing and social practice, and then full loop, like, you know, a grant is made, it goes onto the site, you know, like it's transferred in some way, all these kinds of things.
Yep.
Cool.
So those are like and I have OKPC in the background, but that's like more me personally than stuff that's related to group stuff, I think.
Sure.
Need to have the technical inventory for Exquisite Land done. I think it should just be us 3 and whoever wants to join. And the end result of that meeting should just be like a document that outlines everything that's built out and the missing pieces.
Yep.
And I think it'll also be worth exploring how we might want to integrate Exquisite graphics in a more like direct way.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just like, like the current Exquisite Land doesn't have like the latest Exquisite graphics, right? So just like,
Yeah, it should be pretty easy. I don't know if County already did that, but
I haven't done it, but like, from what I saw, yeah, it's just gonna be a couple.
yeah, it should be like pretty trivial, I think, to do. So that should be fun.
Jordan, are you getting any feedback?
Wait, like personal or like audio?
Audio. Audio.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So good. The question, the answer, you know. But
I'll be like, yeah, I mean, great feedback. You guys are awesome, but I didn't.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna share
Cool.
my notes as I take them,
Just delayed.
like super
How
delayed.
soon do you think, we don't need to get into scheduling now, but like next week with travel and stuff.
I think we should schedule it. I mean, at
That's
least
actually
they're like a tentative date.
Sure, okay, I just wonder like how many days you want to completely you off for travel and whatnot, and when you're gonna be sort of.
I mean, honestly, like this tomorrow, probably the day that would be really bad for me. but-
Sure, no, yeah, I'm imagining like.
Don't have to work
Tuesday or
weekend,
later,
though, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to work.
Cool.
But we can find something. Like I am going to be driving through Ireland, but I think most nights, my time will be like afternoon here, and so I should be able to do it that day.
Perfect.
Ireland's what, 8 hours ahead of Pacific,
Somewhere in there.
Oh, of Pacific, yeah, that's true.
and then probably 6 of here.
What was so Exquisite Land technical inventory, how to integrate exquisite graphics, and then what was the other thing that you said would pop out of that? Just what we,
A document that outlines, it's like a map of everything that exists and the missing pieces to complete it.
Cool.
And obviously this only is the stuff we know needs to happen. There will be some
Yep.
missing things that we don't know.
cool. What else?
So-
The complimentary design Exquisite Land meeting.
So there, we just need to do inventory on the UI as it stands, and then exact same thing, like, just. And then whatever artifact Jordan thinks makes most sense to start. Managing the whole system. We have like we have a bunch of like messy Figma stuff right now.
Yeah.
And
Should I start just hacking through that, or should I wait until we kick off?
it's up to you. I mean, if
Okay.
you want to go through it, I mean, I have all of it pretty much mapped in my head, so.
Okay.
Like it might be faster to do it all.
Yeah.
That way, but it.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do that, because I don't have to bug you every time I run into a wall.
yeah, I think, and we'll be able to get through it in a session, and then there's a bunch of just sort of, strategy and figuring out like best handoff stuff. all this,
Right.
How
Yeah.
our dates and all this. Yeah, but that should go fairly quick. It might be 2 sessions, but I'm not sure. And then,
I don't have any other notes on Exquisite Land.
Your notes are cool, Kristen.
Thank you.
yeah, and then there's probably some amount of like poking into like the story front end on Exquisite Land. like how,
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
incorporate that into the site.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably part of the design process. I imagine the larger group is that what are we extracting, right? What themes are coming out of the previous ones that we want to make as part of the, like you're talking about, as kind of decoration on the UI, right?
so that is the storytelling
That's
website then, or?
Yeah, so we
I'll throw that Dave. Yeah.
we have like the product functional
Yeah.
like componentry that all needs to be in a system so that we can move it forward without having to reinvent things every time. So there's like a design system there. And then there is the layer of like, call it lore and marketing stuff,
Yep.
which is that stuff is more set dressing, which means that we can build
Right.
it down like more readily. So that's more approach, and so we're the primary like technical side of this is getting the I guess the scaffolding of the design like straightened away so that we can like continue development there. And then the set dressing stuff is that's a lot easier. It's going to be built on top of that anyway. So
Okay. So we can kick that can down the road
I
a
think
little bit.
we'll
You'll start probably dipping into it.
yeah, we'll dip into it and say that
Okay.
set dressing like we'll leave placeholders in the same way that they're going to do this on the technical side of things.
Sounds good.
Probably sometime after those two meetings, we should have a discussion over the production of like the release of Exquisite Land, and like we've talked about this already with like doing some stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
And like the cadence of that. And then maybe we can like come up with just like a target date. I think would be pretty cool.
Choreography.
Social choreography.
Choreography.
Cool. This is effectively marketing.
Okay. There's something I just saw with rlog. You and Jordan were gonna do a UI pass.
Yeah, and Jordan's been playing with some UI stuff, which I haven't seen yet because we're disciplined.
Yeah,
We just
that's a
want-
new thing. That's a new thing for me, is being disciplined and holding on to things until the right time, not just throwing them out there.
That's important.
just like braking at the right place, accelerating at the right place.
Yeah.
Flow for
Wow.
performance.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is new. This is new for me, and I'm really appreciating it.
Everywhere.
Sometimes the best way to break is to not break it.
Exactly.
No breaks.
No brakes.
Okay, so for rlog, we've got CJ working on iOS app.
Yeah.
Jordan and Dave working on UI pass. Anything else for now? I guess we're gonna continue with the Discord.
Experiments, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Discord.
It made a fantastic difference. Just
Did it?
one shot though.
Just one shot.
Don't overdo
Is
it.
it just one cup, little cup guy?
Yeah, one cup, and then like the left button is for a single shot.
God, now I want another coffee.
The more the
Wait,
merrier.
what day is today? It's Thursday, which
Thursday.
is practically Friday, right? That's like practically a Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
I might do it.
Friday like
I'll be right back.
It's only 9 there. No, 10. Anything specific about the UI pass that you want noted, or it's good? It's fine if it's just top level.
Yeah, we're just opening it up. Like we've got
Yep.
iOS surface, web surface, and it's similar to the Exquisite Land stuff. Like we're figuring out our pass off. Yeah. I think probably, I don't know when we talk to, I guess we'll, yeah,
What?
it helps to know how we've done so many of these pass off things. I think it'll be fun.
Do we, for rlog,
Passing it to,
are there any considerations? Yes.
Yes, all right, great.
Wait, Dave, when you say pass off, you mean like to implementation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. As long as you and I have something decent in Figma, I can transmogrify to whatever engineer we end up working with. I feel pretty good about that.
yeah, this is more, I guess the follow through on getting states handled and all this other stuff, like what the process for that will be, like how we're marking these things up and communicating it. So I'm curious to see how you've done that.
Oh, really? Are you talking like states of the UI? Got it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing too much. We'll probably play with some UI stuff there, and then we're also surfacing like new patterns as we go through the experiment. So there'll be some shifting around of what we need, the UI to support longer term. But we can rebuild it if need be. Oh, what else there is on that? Yeah, then it's all. I'm gonna wait till I go back. And it's websites. We watched Pom Poko. Have you seen Pom Poko?
No.
It's a Studio Ghibli film from like the mid-90s. It's extraordinarily beautiful. And it's about drunk raccoons.
It's about what?
Drunk raccoons that shapeshift.
Dude, okay. Is it the one with the giant nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see it. No, I did see it. Right. No, I did see that one. Yeah. Kim and I watched it and we're like, oh, that's why this one isn't super popular here. Because culturally, it culturally doesn't map super well to most people in the West.
Oh, like its movement over to the West was inhibited by the testicular warfare.
Yeah, the nuts got in the way. It's funny. After that, I got her a tanuki for a porcelain tanuki for her birthday, and evidently, it's like a whole scene, and they're kind of expensive, and depending on how much debauchery they're performing, their price goes up. Like if it's just like a normal one, it's like $100. If it's got like a jug of wine, it's like $200. That 2 jugs, it's like $400. Like
that's so great.
It was bizarre. Yeah, the tanuki, the porcelain tanuki scene is pretty fascinating.
The minor gods.
The minor gods.
It's good.
When I got back home last night, Bethany was finishing up packing. She was like, "So, what'd you guys do?" I was like, "Well, we watched Pom Poko." She's like, "Watch Pom Poko," and I was like, "That was a drug."
Yeah.
You love beautiful scenes of nature. That's true.
Yeah.
With
testicular humor.
Yeah. Violent testicular.
On Wikipedia, they I think the English translation was raccoon pouch or something like that.
Oh.
Raccoon pouch.
Yeah, I'll go look it up. It was pretty sick.
But every once in a while, like I'll get the
Yeah,
the music in that movie is great.
it is.
We have 30 minutes left of the movie.
Oh, I was like, what? Right now?
So yeah, continue ourlog stuff on Discord. I think we'll probably see some changes in pattern when we disperse.
Yes.
I'm curious about that. There's probably like an in-person mode that is like slightly different than the distributed mode.
For what?
Ourlog.
How we use Discord.
Yeah, or how we're going to use ourlog.
I mean, I guess it's probably slightly similar to like in a meeting together versus
yeah,
like in person.
Yeah, there's like so I'm interested about like thinking coherence when in person and like the fluidity of thought or whatever, because like today I'm writing all this stuff and like I barely feel like I'm writing anything, which may be apparent, but
No, it resonates a lot. To me it feels like close to website stuff personally, but anyway.
I was like, holy shit, because I feel like you feel where I'm like, my brain's not working, and then Dave's like, I'm in the zone, and I'm like, whoa.
I mean, it's
that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in surfboard mode this morning.
Yeah,
it's basically just me reflecting what we've been talking about.
It's
so
nice.
like it's not I'm not copywriting.
Yeah,
I'm just writing stuff down.
But
so
it feels right, or like close.
That's good feedback. But yeah, so but I'm curious how that sort of shifts around when it may not, now that we have this like open channel or something. But anyhow, so we continue that.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So
well, at least some of this Kristen and I were getting into a little bit is like, do we spawn a slightly more structured review shape and allow that to be like the coherence coordinator after the fact? But again, approaching it as like loosely as possible to allow, don't make this like some weird like super tight structure that we all have to adhere to, as much as like a point of synchronization.
Yeah. It's like
well said.
A minimum commitment or something, so that we can stay coherent, especially as we're moving around a bunch over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, or month.
And there's something interesting that if like, I mean, I don't know if I've noticed it yet, but I imagine that some layer there's like some kind of like herd behavior where it's like if 4 of us are starting to shift into a reflective mode, I'm sure the other people will kind of get drug into it too, right? So it may not need to be as explicit, to John's point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have to be prescriptive. So like if someone else like Dave is able to capture something, like you don't need to also feel like you have to do the same thing.
yeah, right.
You can potentially just support like, oh, this makes sense to
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
because that comes up a little bit sometimes for me where I'm like, am I supposed to be doing that? I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you want to extend and sometimes you just want to affirm. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. It's like extending guacamole.
Mm-hmm.
We buy store-bought guacamole and then we partition some of it off and add avocados to it to extend it.
Nice. Yeah.
Extend function.
Mhm.
Yeah, a bunch of these functions came up in making Ponder. There were these actions that like explicit, like take this block and do something with it, extend. These are like sort of the more like named relationship thing that we were talking about. It's probably like me sitting there and like thinking into functions before they emerge, but I can see that some of that kind of stuff would show up.
Block verbs, kind of like.
Yeah, that thing. Like, so there's a grammar to this, like to the participation with blocks. But
Yeah, I am so curious to just see these kind of like bubble up organically and name them. But I imagine it's pretty fluid, like loop.
Yeah, ideally the you reach for the tool and then you design the tool, and then next time we understand that there's a tool there, so we can codify the tool. So yeah, anyways, we keep doing that. So then the other stuff here is the websites. So there's one method that we could prototype these that would mean that would be low code. Like we could just set up Framer instances, they're all free, and then put in the 1Password like logins so anybody can come and edit the stuff, so we can just dump it on screen. And then it's like pretty free form, like a canvas, but it publishes to the web. So that, I don't know if that works, but it might. The alternate is that we like structure content and stuff in Notion or something like this. But the other way would be connected to a domain, because we can bind the domains and stuff.
Might be nice to do it in the medium.
Yeah.
Medium as close as possible.
Because then Jordan and I are probably going to start hacking away at like styles and stuff like this. Yeah, so I don't know.
Sure. I like that.
Okay.
For now, I'm going to continue to do like sort of runs at the copy and structuring that. I think Kristen and I were going to do some like more formalized writing things on that front.
Yeah. So thing that some of like the stuff we talked about this morning, we got into a big conversation about democracy, religion, communication, basically.
This morning?
Yeah. I don't know. It was a lot.
Got up
before
pre-coffee, trying to get out of Dino House, and then Pascal's like,
well, I partially brought this on
that's right.
because I have a friend who is like struggling with crypto and it just keeps happening. So like trying to like frame this a bit and what happens. It's kind of like what happens when people are experiencing mimetic virus mind, basically. And Roger just brought mimeticvirus.com.
Mimeticvirus.com.
He's got it.
Wow.
So
Did he
as we
also
were
get-
talking
did he
about that,
also
he's
get
like, I just bought
virus?
that. And I was like, okay.
Did he also get virus?
I don't know.
I bet he's got pornviruses.com.
Porn?
Pornviruses.com.
Porn viruses.
Wow.
Plural.
Important.
A plurality of porn viruses.
Sorry, I didn't.
It's okay. I think part like the big picture thing is like a lot of it came down to like the social technology and like the relationships that people have being a front runner to the digital technology. Because part of what Pascal was saying is like people just need to take a break, like they need to pause from the internet. And I'm like, how does that work?
Particularly, but yeah,
or how they're interacting with it now.
that for sure. Yeah.
So like what we're saying is there's a different way to use the internet and the so Dave, someone wrote this, maybe CJ, like revisiting, or maybe John, human computer relationships.
Yeah.
copy and pasted Dave's words.
HCR instead of
Yeah.
HCI.
Yeah.
like all of this and like what role does communication play in democracy and then in religion and practices, it's all the stuff we're talking about. And so part of explaining how all of that comes together like would be a nice thing to do. I don't know if it's a blog post, if it's a series of blog posts, but I told Dave, I was like, I think I can help because he's got a lot of it in his head and it's resonating with us, just getting it out and trying to like organize it in some way. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think it would be useful because a lot of the underpinnings of what we're doing is based on some of this thinking. So get it out of the head so it's not just
Yeah, and there's a fundamental necessity for like sharing what we are thinking about
Yes.
consistently. So like doing larger pieces, I don't know, we build up to that maybe, but like the website has a blog and then we are starting to move things into it and practicing that kind of thing, even if it's I don't know, like not our best thinking necessarily. It is like warming up those pipes and starting to try to find a tone that makes sense, that we can start communicating like what we're seeing, what we're sensing effectively. And that'll take some reps. But like this is part of the cadence that I think this is part of the practice is figuring out like pipelining some of our thinking into the public.
Yep. And I think eventually ourlog is in service of this,
Yes.
but we don't have it really set up like that just yet. So in the meanwhile, I don't think this is one of those things like you don't wait till the tool shows up. You're like, I'll figure out another way to get the thing into a form. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there like a sort of meta pattern here, or part of our reflective thing is like, how do we surface what could be published, right? Or how do we think about that kind of thing? We are pretty shy. So this one is yeah, we have to figure out something there.
Yeah. We have to make it a practice.
We do. And something that is like sort of not a stretch every time. Like it's within reach, so that like we're dropping things that we're already doing. So I'm practicing just publishing to everybody and like just off the top of the dome do one sort of pass to make sure that I'm not misspelling anything or whatever. And then that kind of thing can use like a fold or two. And then if we're building like bigger arguments, I don't know, I've done less of that. So we have to figure out some like mechanism for that. But
yeah, I think like the weekly reflective practice that we're doing is in service of this as well.
Yeah.
Because if we start reflecting on what we're writing about and talking about, eventually we'll be like, well, should we share some? It's just a natural progression.
We'll see what keeps coming up.
Yeah. What I found with my own personal practices with writing is it's very hard for me to publish, but I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to finding the pipeline. It's just creating spaces within what you're doing a certain type of writing, but you can't jump ahead. So yeah, there's a patience to like, okay, so if we're comfortable sharing with each other, let's get comfortable with reflecting. If we're comfortable with reflecting, just create the space. Cause it can be, I don't know, it's energetic, like it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking. So giving yourself space to like, be like, okay, now we're doing this, it's okay, like I can see what it is.
So that's where I'm kind of really wondering, like if the initial review practices or runs at it should even have like a publishing component.
No, I think not.
Well, the
Yeah.
counter argument in my head is like the minimum thing that we can agree to, like publish just that and like keep that as like a little like just expression of something that can grow over time, but it doesn't need to be like coherent or anything. Yeah, it's almost like the equivalent like a mic check, like a squawk of some sort. Because my worry with the first approach is that we kind of just like I think
get stuck.
the practice will the review practice will grow, and then the publishing will then become like a hump. But if we say the review practice is just going to be janky and it's fine, and the first published post is going to be janky and fine.
Yeah.
But at least like that pipe
It's there.
starts.
Where do we publish?
I mean, so we are going to have relational.
Substack
Substack can work, and Substack can run the blog off of relational.org.
We can always migrate this shit back.
We don't want to do Web3
can, but
mirror.
when
we have to
we
go.
do mirror as well.
I mean, we can go look at the pipe. we need to do a breakdown to see how all that works. I know Substack works because I'm using it. But,
Right.
I just don't visit Mirror anymore.
yeah.
When it was hot, it felt like it was hot, and now I'm just like,
So
it's a place.
the home, so I'm seeing relational.org and then a blog there or log or whatever. So the posts are effectively there, and then some RSS
Yeah,
like
it needs
capability there. And then
Barcaster again.
yeah,
That's picking up a lot of steam.
It's sticking up, yeah.
so if there's a newsletter component there, that would be nice so that we can like sort of get subscriptions in
Yep.
email at least. So that plumbing, I think we need figured out.
Yeah, and if we don't have to build all of it ourselves, it would be
Ideally not.
Off the shelf
really
would
helpful.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, it'll just keep
It'll
delaying
slog us.
publishing.
Yep.
Which is totally unnecessary.
So like the jankiest, simplest version of this that I see is like almost in the format like a newsletter. Doesn't even have to be a post like self-contained thing because I'm trying to think about it as like an update feed. More
Yeah,
so than
here's
like
what
a-
we've been thinking about this
Yeah,
week,
and
something like that.
And that I think makes the space for like almost like excerpts from
Yeah,
each
I
other's
think
writing.
it's and like kind of going back to like the bubbling up and analogy.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the week, we kind of review everything, like these are the things we said, and it's less editorial from the perspective of.
Yep.
Now let's reformat this. It's
Yeah.
like these things were said and it
Curatorial.
just goes into out, and then later we can go back and try to come with something more.
just get the press running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then start pushing things through the press like you were talking about. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the self-organizing journalism thing.
So less
Like that
editorial,
feeling out
more what
there.
you had a word that was good.
More bubbling up of just like we go through and
Emergent,
like
yeah.
we're like, okay, we like this is the thing this
Yeah.
week or whatever that we want to say
Right.
that we already said it this week.
Exactly.
It's- We're just now.
Here it is for
Right.
everyone to
For
see in
everyone.
more compact.
Yeah.
If there is
Well, we
like
can-
sort of narrative scaffolding around that like you or John.
we
could
can
work
do
with,
Yeah.
that would be
context
good.
Well,
like
we can
background.
do the emoji thing to bubble up, like we
Yeah.
were saying.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think like one thing that naturally can come out of it is like, let's say it comes out, it's one of the things Dave said, Dave 56 maybe.
Mm.
And the
He hates
natural-
it so much.
I love it.
I-
Keep doing it. Then maybe it'll die.
I don't think that's how that works.
The natural thing that can come out of it is almost like a meta conversation around it where we publish that and we talk about
Yeah.
what were we thinking when we said that,
Yeah.
and like it
This
being
is-
timestamped
yes.
and frozen in time and then we just write about it and talk about that.
Yep.
And that can be the sort of more editorialized
That's interesting. We could do a podcast.
or
That's
podcast.
also.
So this
So
is
we can
what
just-
Salman and I. were
That's what I
doing.
was just gonna point
Yeah.
to you. So, cause we could podcast the second thing. So like, what were we talking about? Like what we're doing right now?
Yeah.
Cause then we don't have to worry about, like, we can publish here's what we've been thinking, and then there's audio clip of like
Yeah.
context.
I actually wrote about this on the ourlog day briefly, because I was like, audio seems like a format that we're not like taking too much advantage of, even though we do a lot of things over audio.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I think we should probably be doing Substack for all this. It's got
And
all of
Substack
these
and
things.
stuff.
And
Is that
so
audio
we're
too?
in everything.
Oh,
Like
wow.
at this point, yeah, they have a podcast feed. I don't know. We have to go look at it, but yeah, they have.
I've definitely had like podcast links show up in my Substack, like
Yeah.
where it's embedded.
They're not.
there.
You can't combine a text and a podcast post. You have to do them separately. So
So just a quick
I think we-
question about
real quick.
Substack.
on that, I think we just use it to prototype with the.
Okay.
We are gonna get out of the thing and try to build the same stuff, and it's the same thing we're doing with Discord. This
That
is just
answers my question then.
yeah.
Discord to Substack publishing.
We're not locking ourselves in.
That's what I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like,
Shit, there's literally a start your own podcast. Holy crap, sorry.
Yeah, it's got, they've got all of the sort of publishing plumbing in there.
That makes so much sense.
Plus, they have network effect now because
Yeah.
they've got this centralized feed structure. So yeah, I don't know.
okay. So can we agree then that we're gonna do some kind of weekly reflection asynchronously with the emoji bots about what people, okay. Do we like the idea of having it over a few days because people are moving right now? So it's like weekends are for reflection, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can do it any of those days.
Sure. How do you see the form of that?
So we've already agreed that we're just going to, so we'd be first building off of daily, like, or thereabouts, like if you miss a day, it's not, no one's like monitoring this, but as you're thinking about our work, you put it in the Discord, just like we've been doing, continue doing that. Continue going through with, I guess it's the dodo bird, yeah.
Also, one other thought I just had is like, maybe this can always apply to a dodo bird, but it would be interesting to have the space for mentioning why you dodo something. Maybe in the dodo,
Like responding to it or something.
yeah, and
That's cool.
like I think on the default dailies, not as critical because I think we all have context on why something was interesting, but where this comes up for the review is basically being like, now
Your
we have
own-
even more context about
Yeah.
how that thought propagated.
Well, and that fills up into like the more publishing surface
Mhm.
naturally as well, because like
Totally.
you have context for why that thing was there rather than it just showing up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that doesn't have to make it into the Substack necessarily. It can, but it certainly gives somebody the perfect place to start. Oh, I see why this is connected.
I think just a metadata field as part of an emoji tag is just sick as a general UI convention that as you tag, you can inject a context into that tag.
Yeah.
That just seems powerful for this type of, yeah, sorry, that's great. It inspired me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sort of, I mean, I do this with video all the time where I'm like clipping, well, I am transcribing as a way, like, so I'm listening to these philosophical things and they're in conversation, which I like because there's an active like back and forth.
Sure.
And then somebody gets on a tear, like where the magic starts happening. And then I go I go back and I listen and I transcribe it. And in the practice of transcribing, I do a run through the first time and I catch like 20% of the logic.
Yep.
And then I go write it out in like I write their words down. I do this with John Vervaeke's words all the time because he's got it so fucking compounded. And then I'm like, okay, there's like 15 other layers to the thinking here. And then there's usually it depends on that I'm sort of studying. So there's not necessarily like a, you know, secondary or like third insights or whatever, but every once in a while, like I'll have like my own thinking applied to something, right?
Yeah.
And so this is like contextualizing it to the work. So yeah, anyways, there's a few modes in there, but this is like pulling direct. I mean, there it would be an interface that's like a video, like I pause it, I scrub back or whatever. It is associated with that time frame. Like you could jump to it and then here's my annotation.
What do you use for that, Dave?
I'm just so right now
A text file or an app?
yeah, a lot of what I'm doing is on the phone. So like here, I'm watching this one right now. So if you hit play and then you like swipe up, then underneath I can put, where is it?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Can you see that? It's just like the video is up top. and then-
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's your text file. Got it. Okay, that's your text
and then
file.
I
Just
just-
screen cap that and send, so we have like a little.
Sure.
That's pretty interesting, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, so but there's no timestamps. I have to manually.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a sick workflow in Final Cut of dropping annotation
Yeah.
tags on frames, but it's just too bulky for what you're trying to do. But it's perfect for this. Like it's literally was built for.
Yeah, and so there's that one app that came out that's like video workflow stuff. Like
Frame.io.
Frame.io. And they have
they
a
do
bunch
that.
of these like sort of web based.
Yeah, they have a web version of that. That's right. Yeah.
It's all web. And they have it's based on commenting for like production flow. So
Yeah,
like,
I worked with them.
producer. Yeah. So
Yeah, no.
We tried this.
yeah, Masha, who worked with us, ended up going over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Emery from way back. That guy's a.
Is that one of the
interesting dude.
founders?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they reached out to me at some point, early days in Carbon Made stuff. But their UI stuff has been pretty rad. I think Adobe bought them.
They did.
So, but anyways, there are like these patterns out there. The point being that like this is a post type or a component type.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a cool workflow. Yeah.
I mean, this would be helpful for just reviewing our own YouTube videos.
And that's the next thing. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Because even now, so it's gonna be a little painful, like gotta pause, take a, yeah, I wonder if there's like anything we can use right now before that, but
I don't
Didn't
know.
we use something for that meditation?
Dropbox, but it was audio only.
Oh, okay.
Which,
Yeah, so hunting around for an interface to allow this, like, there's the other thing too, that if third parties are watching these things, like there's other people on YouTube and stuff watching this, like being able to get reflective, like get
Yeah.
other people's notes.
Yep.
Like I know for certain there are other people doing this on all of these videos that I'm watching, and it would be fantastic to be able to like compare these notes. Like there would be a compounding effect on like sort of group study. So this
Feels like it's in our mission.
it's right there, like it's rlog's like understanding club instance.
Yeah.
Like so if we were doing something like yeah, anyways, the coaching thing I'm doing right now fully has this need. Like they're just cobbling it together with like a bunch of different surfaces. So anyways, that's a use case that I'm practicing now manually.
cool.
I think all of us are doing some version of this. Same thing with podcasts.
Yeah. But that is like a really powerful use case from the perspective, like imagine this, but you have the rlog infrastructure and it can be used as a video publishing platform.
Yeah.
You can have all sorts of different apps
Yep.
that serve this up, and people are paying for those different services in different ways, but the underlying relations are all the same, essentially back end across the chain.
Yep.
So now all the content is actually shared and
Yep.
united
Yep.
across all these different interfaces.
I got a guy who's exploring that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I should call him up. I totally just now when we started talking, he popped back in my brain.
From
Thank
a
you,
UI
guys.
standpoint.
Or
No, he's like a little bit. He's like a I don't know to describe him. He's like a just kind of a really into video technology, but he's a burner, and he worked for like an India broadcast company trying to do like democratizing video production stuff. But he's like a broadcast guy, but he's really young. But he's all about like his thing is how like the value is all being captured by like studios. How do we get it into the hands of creator stuff? But he's about like atomizing aspects of like video production into like some type of blockchain mechanism stuff. He brought this. I know him forever, and he came to Apple to present some ideas about how Final Cut could be a key or a piece in this ecosystem, and it was like mind blowing because he saw it like the whole soup to nuts vision.
Yeah.
But he saw all the places where it's bottlenecked and couldn't like unfree the value and information. And I haven't talked to him in years, but he's a really great guy. And Tony saying that just totally reminded me. I got to follow up with him.
yeah, there's also a lot of like potential incentive models around this stuff, at least in terms of like if an AI can't annotate a video, like they'll get paid to annotate a video.
Yeah.
Whether
That's a huge thing.
whether that
Annotate,
makes
like yeah.
sense in reality or not, that also can feed like machine learning models. Like there's all kinds of stuff that like is like this, but yeah, like this particular thing, like I've wanted this for so many years because it would be so helpful to have and to see like Dave is annotating videos, John is annotating videos, and Kristen's like at least the stream of media coming in to me like intellectually would be so much cleaner than anything else.
Yep.
Right. And from like the creator's perspective, it's just them publishing a video, and if whatever he's publishing is backed by a relational like protocol, then that video gets published across all sorts of different apps.
Yeah.
And it has different lenses. Like some apps are specifically just like video content, and they just see the videos, and there's probably just a comment stream.
Yep.
And other apps are like the annotation clubs and all that stuff, and it's all supported by the same backend.
Yep. There's like an
Graphs.
annotation to curation to publish. They're all tooling. There's like a pipeline of,
And potentially like depending on the implementations, like it can be plug and play, which is like create your own media environment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. The kit of parts thing, like you know, there is some set of social like an understanding club is like premised on like a 2 month long like investigation of these 4 like 3-hour videos or whatever it is, and like the thing is like, okay, so you have a cohort, and then each of them goes in, and like the first video is like the first, X number of 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Yep.
Like go through, read the thing, add your notes or whatever. We're going to come together at a certain point and then like look through the notes and compare or whatever. They could be black boxed or whatever.
Yep.
And then that is a compounding understanding. By the end of it, the understanding should be held in the group, like through, you have campfire discussions around these kinds of things. These are emerging. I'm like starting to join a few of these. People are just manually putting them together.
Yep.
So yeah, anyhow, there are like also, viewing clubs and book clubs and different kinds of things, and the different types of medias. It could be with some like the blog club thing, right?
Yep. Synchronous, asynchronous, past material, new material.
Yeah, so these are like more study centric. I think that there can be game centric versions of these kinds of things, like a whole bunch of, but yeah, part of it is like handling the practice layer of this and the scheduling, the coordination, the like,
Huge,
and then
Education stuff.
yeah. Talk about practice. Praxis.
I love that clip. Talking about Iverson, right?
Yeah, Iverson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Practice.
Okay,
man.
so we agree that we're gonna keep doing reflections ongoing. We'll use the dodo bird to flag things that we think are particularly salient within the relational universe for whatever reason.
Yep.
You can add context when you dodo, that's the emoji we're using, at the point of dodo or later.
Mhm.
You don't have to either, right? It's not a
Yep.
requirement.
Okay.
And then there's some agreement that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we go into the dodo channel and we just look through, and then what, I guess is the question. Do we sync? Are we doing,
This one makes sense.
because we could try to sync Monday, Wednesday of that following week. People could do their own like async reflections that they bring to the, I mean, there's lots of ways we can do that. I don't know that we need to be doing more work before syncing.
We could have like a very simple system where you can like star 2 or 3,
You get
and then the
to,
most starred thing is what trickles out
Of all dodos,
of all the dodos for the week.
star dodos.
Star dodos.
Sure.
I don't know. It's a very
Yeah, I
very
think
naive way to do it.
I think
Might
that
as well try it.
it's the thing that's sitting right there. So yeah, like it's a filtering mechanism. So like basically curate down to whatever. Do we have like a set number of those?
The stars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
each
okay.
gets 2.
Each person gets 2.
Got it.
And if there's a tie,
Probably
then
just said that.
battle royale.
Cool.
I think if there's not,
If it's
Both-
tie, you just
both.
Yeah, both
because
make it.
emails are
fair enough.
still gonna just like 100 words.
I mean,
whatever.
potentially
Something-
everything that gets started, maybe, just depending on how spread it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think we can do editorial review then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like figure
That can
out
be quick.
maybe like a max that we're trying to ship in this thing. So it's crucibling the thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe 2 things are aligned and we squash them or something like this.
Yeah.
So after we get the stars, then what?
We do like a look for themes or overlaps, and
Well,
There's
we
like
just publish the stars and then
just straight up. Okay.
I mean, I wonder if like it's maybe like a conveyor belt style where on Monday morning, all the stars make it into a Dropbox paper template sort of draft sort of thing. And then you want to go in there, like putz up your specific like text or whatever you can, add a little editorial, like this is where Kristen and I, like, we can maybe apply like a little bit of the structure around it.
Yeah.
And just kind of just say it's leaving the train station on Tuesday morning or something like that.
I think we could just drop those in Substack drafts.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same environment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think minimal framing,
Totally. Yeah.
just
like,
high level.
Mhm.
Maybe we organize it like these things were in this area, these things were in that area.
mhm.
Here's what we're thinking.
yeah.
And if
The
at that
themes are
spot-
these 2 words, yeah,
yeah,
like
and
that kind of thing.
If at the spot, like I think you see something else that
Shitty paper.
can be added. Not fun.
CJ made a napkin paper airplane, you missed it? Or maybe you
I
didn't.
saw something. I saw something.
I saw
curious.
something.
Yeah, I saw something.
I was totally distracted.
Well, this is, yeah.
No, this, the
wanted to throw a
publishing
chip
pipeline
at
thing
Jess's
here, I
head
think
at
is,
dinner, and then I did it.
Yeah.
She's like, do it.
Oh,
And then at Tony.
yeah,
Oh,
Jordan,
yeah.
Jordan, like we're all having tacos, and then all of a sudden chips start flying from Kristen of all people.
What?
I don't know. I
Running
just
into
wanted to
her.
throw a chip at Jess, and she was like, do it. And I was like, I want to hit you in the
she
head
has
though.
social Tourette's sometimes.
I respect that.
And then Tony's like, do me,
I
do
think we'll
me.
need that kind of shit.
I was.
I think I'd tell- I'd tell
you
Eye
at that
protection at
point.
least.
Yeah.
Tony was
I'm-
drunk.
I'm almost never scared of chips.
I'm almost never scared of chips.
I slammed him right in the eyeball.
Brave. Ooh.
What are you gonna do?
Just caught one right here. Okay. So
Okay,
CJ has the same thing. Sometimes you're just like, huh?
Um, question about the stars.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The goal is to publish.
Yeah.
But there's also an internal response, right? Like we look at those themes and those become things we action on, or is it literally just us giving exposure to the overall process? Are we acting on this stuff? Is there an
Oh, so-
official like
If I could take a stab at this, like,
Yeah.
I want that, like what you're describing, absolutely, like meta reflection, theme summarization. But I'm just like, I would shy away from
Heavy process.
putting ourselves,
Yeah.
okay.
onus
Yeah.
on ourselves for the.
That's
very
literally what I
first
was getting
step.
at, John. I
Well,
was gonna be like,
yeah,
should we have a
like-
Monday sync meeting just to plan actions on this?
Totally.
And you're saying it's not the time yet. And that's
No.
that makes total
Yeah,
sense.
but
Got
I
it.
think,
Okay.
I think if you are looking at the your Substack draft and you kind of see some of that, then I just take a stab at it. But like, I would say for this first one, I'm just kind of imagining when like the first like opening of a water draft or water pipe on a dam and like
Yeah.
the shit that's coming out, it's just like, it's just cleaning the pipe.
Sludge.
But
Yeah.
like, at least it's there and at
It's
least,
like the minimal viable thing that we can do.
you know,
Because if we add too much in the beginning, we're just gonna not do it. It's
Yep.
gonna bog down and be too hard.
Yeah, the premise here is that like, just start talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then as you start talking, you start
It'll
feeling what
refine
you
itself.
actually want to say.
Yeah.
But we're doing this as a group
And the
process.
beauty of it though, it was just us talking, but it's already passed like at least 2 levels of
Yeah, yeah,
review,
yeah.
which is it got dodoed and it got starred.
Yeah.
So it's like-
Okay. It's already inherently happening in the process of starting. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then contextualizing it or narrativizing it or whatever, I think is a process that we will feel the like strain of that after doing the practice for some amount of time. Yeah, and then something will hopefully emerge there. Makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
We got that then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm happy to get the Substack scaffolding up, just create like the post, drop a link to that, whatever, so it's all
Cool.
somewhere.
So, I don't know. Did I ever get relational? Probably not. Probably somebody's grabbed it.
Substack, I mean.
Yeah.
You're good with the web exploration stuff? Working
Yeah.
at Framer, okay.
I may like pull you in, Jordan, on some of this stuff where we maybe just do some sync sessions and get everything like
Love it.
latted in there. I'm gonna like decompress my brain this weekend and then sort of hit you up on Monday or so.
And then we talked about rlog protocol diagrams, flowcharts, infographics.
Actually, John, if you're interested in that too.
Very-
Yeah, just
Totally.
we're getting stuff on
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
How are you doing the exquisite graphic site? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I'll just pull it up and show you.
Okay,
I'm doing it in React because
got it.
I
Yeah.
know how to use React.
Where do we want to keep these kinds of like task-based things? We've got a whole slew of them. Do we want to put them in like a table on Notion?
I love spreadsheets.
Cool,
So table and Notion sounds sick.
okay,
That sounds fine too.
'Cause it's
Just
easy.
backwards?
Yeah, that's how I got used to it when I was a kid, so I still do it
I
like
made the
that.
flip.
the flippening.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Kristen, I think we can like kind of just keep them there, but don't have like a hard
That's great.
rule set.
Yeah,
for,
I
like,
don't know how much more. it is.
modifying-
Probably a little bit more
No.
design
Hey,
and copy.
like,
It's like,
Yeah, I think
And then
we'll get warmed
It's
up.
a dumping ground for
and then we
anyone,
can do a
yeah.
pass.
Cool.
If you get all the content on there.
We don't have
then,
to hold
we
it.
can do some some, like, the same thing we did with the map thing, like,
Yeah.
and just do,
Reorder.
yeah, because,
Yeah, I think this one is like mainly the thing that I don't like. All the content is like mainly easy to get for this one. It's more just like the main block of copy is the hard part that I don't know how to do yet.
yeah,
Like what this.
let me get warmed up, and then,
I'll figure that out. Yeah.
I mean, pretty quick here, I'm gonna be back in fucking website copy mode, because
Yeah.
we're
'Cause it's
making
moving that-
12
Yeah.
12 websites.
Yeah,
Um,
like I might just launch it without the copy initially and just like leave it as like just like a splash basically, and then go from there.
I think don't worry about it. In context is fine, and then you tighten and tighten. Like over explaining is better than under explaining, as long as it's not too long.
What do you guys think about Tuesday or Wednesday for the Exquisite Land?
Should be fine.
I'm done for that. We got
I don't know.
one
what
call
we're gonna
Tuesday.
do. Or
This
you
is
think
where
we'll be in
CJ's
Colorado by then?
looking at a map again.
Yeah, we should be there by Sunday night, I think.
In Colorado,
Yeah, if we leave
I
tomorrow,
don't think
or sorry,
so, no.
Saturday morning, one night in Martha,
probably one night in Martha.
and then.
It's gonna take us all day to get to Martha.
Jordan, Tuesday
Oh,
for
we-
design exquisite.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I was just looking at my calendar. I think Tuesday should be
Imagine
okay.
that. It also might
Yeah.
take 2 days to get to
Cool.
Colorado. I looked on the map, it was 12 hours driving.
Mm.
700
preference?
miles, which we did
Time-wise?
750.
Yeah,
And I don't think that was 12 hours.
I guess midday, because I like to use my mornings to go like
Yeah.
run errands. I'll be in Reading, so midday, I don't know, like
I'll check. There's Martha.
between 11 and 3, anytime there for good for you.
So
11 your time?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't care that much. I'm just saying is when I'm in Reading, I like to get early and spend a few hours
Yeah,
before
no,
it gets hot.
It says 11
Um,
hours now.
It's like 10 o'clock your time is probably fine.
1 to 5.
A
Yeah.
few days?
I
okay,
have no idea.
What day?
Okay.
I'm leaving
Tuesday?
Colorado
Tuesday.
or that area
1 to 5.
generally probably by the
We've got Farzad in the morning.
Yeah,
29.
I mean, 1 is fine.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
I'll be
one would
traveling
fine.
probably a little.
11?
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
let's do,
Generally.
let's
We
plan
can go a
on
little
Wednesday.
later.
Wednesday.
And then
One.
that way you guys are
One.
definitely there and
We have a buzzard squawk that day, so maybe 2 hours before then.
Be right back.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
I think we'll schedule the rlog one after that.
Your wish.
The
The
rlog
design.
design, yeah, so Jordan and I are doing it, the Exquisite Land one Tuesday.
Okay.
So one consideration with the Zoom account, we just have like a basic account. Do you have Zoom too?
I have the, yeah, as well.
Okay, cool.
So if it's full, then I can.
Yep.
Use mine.
If you're comfortable recording things, do it and we'll just do what we've been doing, tracking. And
Yeah,
if we can agree to use the social calendar protocol, that you're putting stuff on the shared calendar, you're creating just a simple Notion doc.
Yep.
That kind of thing, just see
Yep,
if
yep,
we
yep.
can get in the habit of it. And see how it feels. If it doesn't feel good, let's revisit. Oh yeah, Jordan's going to Burning Man next week, so
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think this week we're gonna try, next week. The week after next,
yes,
next week.
at the end of next week.
so Thursday, so.
He said he leaves the 25th.
In the week, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a week.
Maybe we do rlog Monday.
We don't have
We
anything.
tried Switzerland Wednesday, more than like noon time
He's not gone that long.
before the squawk.
Well, I think
Our
he'll
squawk
wanna
is
do it.
2 weeks.
4 central.
I think he's got all that stuff.
So
queued
what
up,
time?
So that'll be a fun
Well,
one.
12 Central?
something like that. Yeah.
That works for me.
And then if you're around.
Which one is this?
Wednesday, Switzerland mapping.
Yeah, I imagine I'll be around.
Could always stretch plan.
Yeah, that's. no way to do it.
Jordan, you wanna do rlog UI Monday?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
I'm not sure.
You
I'm
can
waiting to
do
coordinate
that.
with Kim. I may or may not be on the road that morning. But which should be fine for like a sync meeting, but if it's like design, I may not be in Reading till like noon on Monday.
It's up to you. I mean, I'm around all day, so.
All day? Okay. I could do, I would say let's just go ahead and do Monday afternoon if you're open to it.
Yeah.
What time?
Yeah, like let's say 2. Is that too late?
No.
No,
Okay, cool.
4.
Perfect. Thank you. That works.
I'm stoked. We can unpack now.
Yeah, and I like I said, I couldn't stop thinking, like I couldn't think about rlog without shape, so I just started throwing stuff down, and it's like I don't know, I got some interesting jump off points. I'm excited to show you.
Cool. Discipline.
Trying.
Cool.
So
All
if you're doing these sessions and I'm not there, you're gonna have to log in using the shared credentials. Otherwise, you won't be able to record without me, and then you'll interrupt whatever I'm doing in the moment.
So what I'll do is I'll just go buy Zoom,
Mhm.
The cost of doing this.
and then this won't be a problem.
Oh, speaking of the cost of doing business, we need to potentially figure out eventually how
We have a business.
we have a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we have 3 or 10.
Or 10, and how to like launch Exquisite Land.
Or,
Yeah.
Roger. Just,
Keep going until it's a problem.
Or what?
you just have some down when you get some big phone calls from people. I was like, that's, like, I'm not running this business anymore.
No,
Got it.
You want something? Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have like the DAO for relational, probably, whatever that's gonna look like, and then like Exquisite Land.
All these things should be separate businesses, unfortunately.
I think so.
What's the reason behind it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and especially if we're fundraising individually on any of these things, like having them very clearly denoted. I mean, what was it?
Interesting. Do we
Uni
know
Labs
anyone
did
that's
this.
done something like this?
A lot of businesses.
Like DAO, like a DAO or like a central thing that's not a company, it's not really a business, but it's sort of a node for a bunch of other things.
Ask Brennan tonight,
Yeah,
you know how that works.
What?
just depend, yeah, like what are the relationships that each of the sub businesses have with entities then too?
And how far can we push that off?
Yeah.
Before it becomes like absolutely necessary, but yeah,
Taking
having like an
What
idea
kind
of
of
what
money
we're
are we
gonna do.
taking in, I guess, too?
Yeah.
They could probably start as LLCs.
Yeah, I think the short answer is as soon as money starts getting involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is when we should become business.
Knowing what we're gonna do though, so that
Yeah.
we're ready just to flip the switch, yeah. Yeah, if it's LLC, it won't be a problem, and it should be LLC unless we have to take in like VC or some like institutional investment, but I don't know if there's something special in Texas outside of an LLC. Okay.
Is there any IP we should be protecting?
We're giving it all away. No, I don't know.
I don't necessarily think I mean, for now.
Sure.
I can't really think of anything that we're trying to hold wholly.
No.
Or.
Only the
Or-
corporate.
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Well, I mean, I do think that is right though, that like these,
It's hard to say.
Yeah, we haven't even put like C0 or anything on it
Yeah.
yet. We haven't. even- So,
Oh, we haven't.
no, so that's all TBD.
Yeah, so I think for Exquisite Land, we're probably gonna be pushing into this, and we talked to Devin, like, and start strategizing there, because he's thought a lot about this, so. And he's aligned. We can start figuring out messaging and legalities and whatnot, but as far as like patterns, like protocols are going out public, and then any of the other stuff, I don't know. I don't even know how to think about it.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for it. I was just curious.
Okay. It's outside my wheelhouse.
There could be, but I don't think partially due to the nature of some of the stuff that makes sense. If it's more media.
I mean, there's patterns and stuff, but
The thing is,
we're not Apple with patent lawyers.
also, all of the code is
Yeah.
Unless we don't decode the contracts.
So there'll be like some kind of,
Yeah, we want people to copy means they like it.
there'll be some kind of community of practice around all of the entities. Around business specifically.
I think this is the. I think relational is like that.
There's
umbrella.
There's a hub though, specifically for business
Yes,
stuff.
within relational.
Yeah, for like accounting and like business
sure.
formation and like this kind, so
I
that
think
each
that's part of
entity
the
doesn't
knowledge
have to
share.
like be like, I don't, how should I set this up? And someone else could be like, we set it up like this. You can like copy exactly what we're doing.
This is guidance stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a I think maybe they're called communities of practice. I don't know. And then there's a larger community, I don't know, yeah, a guild, like that sort of, I get the nomenclature thing now.
We need to nail that down, but yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go research some of the linguistics around all that stuff.
Sure.
I have one book on guilds. Somebody recommended that.
I'll just start structuring things and then you'll be like, what, how, what? And then you'll be forced to.
Sure. Cool.
Because I'll do it without researching all of that stuff. Like this structure feels like it makes sense, but then yeah, nomenclature, I am agnostic to.
Okey doke.
It's a lot.
It is.
So I just switch the process down, to those dates and like
Yeah,
obligations, soft obligations, but I want like make these as like clear and simple as possible so that I can actually. Dodo anytime,
mhm,
put 2 stars on the dodo over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Monday morning, all that gets dumped into Substack draft. Since they're 24 hours, we can make all the little edits and scaffolds, whatever we want, and then on Tuesday, leaves the station. Goes out. Perfect. All right,
Let's see how that feels, yeah.
cool.
So the only thing that makes the cut is stuff from the prior Friday through Thursday. Like what's the cutoff?
Yeah, that's the kind of.
Yeah, that's what I thought was tricky too.
Because I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday are for the next week then.
Yeah.
So the cutoff to make it into Tuesday's publishing is Thursday.
Maybe we should, so, okay, so it's today, we can publish stuff, and then tomorrow morning, someone can type in. Star above this line
Yes, in the Dodo channel.
in the Dodo
Sure.
channel.
a new day, a new dawn.
Yeah, that's nice.
So keep publishing, but yeah, just to keep
Yeah.
like a segment of time.
Yeah.
So this,
A
yeah,
weekly cadence, yeah.
yeah, otherwise.
Just
it'll
rolling.
Can we program that?
Yeah.
Cool. That would be nice
That would be good.
to have it done. Yeah.
A midnight, the Dodo has come to collect.
It's like the stork.
Yeah.
The dodo needs its food.
The Dodo has laid an egg, it's new week.
Mhm.
Will it hatch?
But what will it hatch? Ooh, I like that.
And the slower, more extinct version of Twitter.
More extinct version.
We just we
I love that product.
birds that eat death, buzzard, and birds that no
That are
longer
dead.
exist.
Yes.
Maybe they rename relational to stupid birds.
Stupid birds,
Bird.
useless birds.
Bird.
I guess both.
Oh, that kiwis. I mean, they're cute.
That's a
But
Yeah.
they are not very good at surviving.
Blue-footed boobies.
Red-breasted tits.
Oh,
Is that
Yeah, way too much fun with this.
It is. There's a variety of breasted tits.
It'll be disappointing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It doesn't look really like-
It's not as exciting as you think.
All right, is there anything else?
I don't,
That's really sad, actually. It was really disappointing. Red-throated tit.
that's sad, actually.
Not very impressive. I like birds though. Birds are cool.
A quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I got a picture of one of those in Costa Rica. Along with the birders. They were very, very excited.
I don't
That's a
think
lot.
we're going to ATX Dow tonight.
Should I bring them?
Spot
Yeah.
birds. The Dow.
At the Dow.
Look deeply into people's eyes across the room.
We can shop around what we understand.
Yeah,
See
whatever
that.
your take is on it.
What do we understand?
Mhm.
Dumping through from different.
We didn't send Brendan a video, but we can just. you guys
Oh,
can
yeah.
talk to him about it.
We're gonna use feel.
Yeah.
Well, we have the videos up, so we can take a look at that. And
Oh,
see,
yeah, it's probably time.
what do we want to send Brennan, I guess, is like another to do.
I said just talk to him tonight and
Yeah.
feel it out.
That works.
One other thing, like with the YouTube videos, I think for the weekend, because YouTube videos are difficult, if have capacity of workflow, then like watch and comment. If not, I think we can like hold off on those until we have better plumbing. Like, yeah, it is a lot. It kind of is a lot.
Just a lot.
And
Watching the videos.
so, I my think the approach is just gonna be like, listen to them as podcasts. And
Yeah.
make notes.
That's
And
fine.
That's what I
like,
usually do.
Simple, but, you know, given all the travel and stuff that people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's fine.
Yeah, we may need to, I don't know that I have the bandwidth to go through and listen to all this stuff again.
Yeah,
We need a
What would
week
we
at
be-
least.
Either my
What's the
brain is
intent
like
with
on
it?
its last legs right now.
My think was start like comparing it towards the email as well, but
Sure.
like, I don't, it's cross medium.
Just like
so,
another pass, yeah.
Yeah, like. there's
Oh,
these-
doing links to it?
Maybe, like, although that's a lot, you know, I like, we're not trying to map the whole video set, I just think that there may be like little snippets that I may pull out, I was like, oh, this was.
Yeah, yeah,
so I
that makes
dropped
sense.
some text. Nothing like it stays text in the email,
Yeah, okay.
they don't have to be timely.
Yeah, I think not sharing those videos is maybe a good idea.
How did you initially share these videos out?
Oh.
Yeah, like before they're published and now they're not, right?
They're published, but not to the
Unlisted.
public. Yeah, they're
They're
unlisted.
unlisted.
Some of them
Yeah.
are.
So if you
embedded.
have a link, you can watch it.
Yeah.
So it could get around.
Did I ever tell you all that before I met any of you, Chris had sent me a video of one of y'all's meetings
Yeah.
What?
and he was like, oh, I really like what these guys are talking about. And I was like, oh, cool, and listen to it. And then later I met you and I was like, oh shit, they're the same person. Really. But
What the heck?
That's the way.
That's crazy.
when we found the video.
We published a lot of, yeah,
So there was a
I think
public feed,
some
like
of
a
the,
relational feed, and then we were doing a bunch of stuff with Exquisite Land. And then some of those got onto buzzer.life. And then you could probably go back to the channel and stuff, but I don't know that we explicitly shared anything
I
ever.
don't think we did.
we didn't publish to like a broadcast network.
No.
I don't know how people find videos in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
how
very
he-
funny. We have 26
I need-
followers,
I need to ask him how he found the video.
subscribers or whatever.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think he backtracked who was making Exquisite Land. That's my guess. And like,
Like he followed the path of confusion.
yeah, he went to relational.fyi. And then like,
By copying and pasting the link.
which means that he is a true finder.
Do we have metrics on buzzer.life and relational.fyi? It'd be kind of
Probably
funny
not.
just to see.
Yeah, I didn't
I
ever
don't-
hooked up anything.
I just kidding.
Literal.
27 subscribers.
got a new
Wow,
one.
one more.
Mhm.
Yeah, some of the like earlier stuff where we're finding something, we don't publish because we don't know, we don't know what we're doing. It's a little too vulnerable. And we don't want people to be like, well, you said here. We didn't, what?
15 minutes in.
Yeah. So far, we've had none
Yeah.
of that.
People do pass them around, but we don't get, like, very rarely do people reach out to us. They do sometimes email, but then they don't know what to do when we respond. Ah, there's actually people here. The weirdos are responding. Yeah, because not very many people reach out.
So yeah, I think we're moving towards figuring out how to move that into
Yeah.
like, you know, maybe the videos get bubbled up at some point and go out into the newsletter or whatever it is, blog, and then
Yeah, I think
start.
there's plenty of space for that, but I can just continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Seems to be working.
Cool. I got nothing else.
Plenty.
What else are we doing today?
ATX down.
That's it?
Yeah, we've got a
Cool.
shorter day. Cause it's
Good.
been a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there anything else while Tony's here?
Taking a break. Sunday was.
We have nothing planned
I
tomorrow,
slept like 3 hours during the day on Sunday.
and you went to bed early.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing planned for tomorrow. You guys are leaving Saturday?
I think
I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
I just need someone else to tell me. Otherwise, I'll just be wandering around aimlessly.